This is Eric Mwathe with Mwathe.com. It's Saturday, February 7th, 2009. I'm going to take a look at some charts. I'm going to try and squeeze this video so it can fit in a 10-minute format so it can be available for you guys, for everybody on YouTube. But basically, I'm going to let you draw most of the conclusion for what the charts are saying. But if I was to summarize what I think is going on is we can play the upside in the market that started pretty much around midweek. But just remember, this is just another bear market rally that could be fading, could fade at any point. So it's a bear market rally as far as I can see, with a lot of question marks on how long it can sustain itself. So you play the upside, but this market might be rolling over at some point, probably sooner than we think. If we take a look at the Nasdaq 1-year daily, you'll find that we had a nice move above the 50-day moving average, powerful move, 2-day move, but we are running into resistance on this price channel top lines. We just ran into resistance right there, and we are also coming very close to RSI top lines resistance. If we take a look at the Dow 1-year daily, what I would like to remind you is that be very careful, because as of this 50 move above 50 on Friday, which guaranteed the Dow a big move, any slight hesitation on Monday or early next week that takes the Dow back below 50 is gonna mean a huge day lower for the market. So just keep that in mind. This close here was a tricky close, because any move back below 50 is a huge day whenever that happens. If we take a look at the Dow three-year weekly chart, what we are finding right now is there is this downward sloping price channel that we are just finding resistance or playing around with. So this still remains resistance as of Friday's close. If we move out of this, then that's going to be some small bullish step, but for now we are seeing resistance. That resistance also coincides with this weekly RSI top line, so just something for you to keep in mind. If we take a look at the Russell 2000, we had this break out of this wedge type formation, so that gives it room for it to rally, and we'll see how far it can go. So like I say, the benefit of the doubt lies on the bullish side, but just remember, this is a rally within a bear market. Let's take a look now at the QQQ's weekly chart, and we see we had this powerful blast out of this wedge type formation, which is bullish for the tech sector. We still have to contend with this weekly RSI top lines. If we take a look at the BTK, which is one of the few sectors that has a powerful breakout on the RSI, as seen by the RSI, this is now a powerful breakout. We are coming into some kind of we have to challenge the 200-day moving average, which is just above it, the current close, and we are also challenging the top lines of this price channel, which has held since November. So like I said, it's we see some stalling coming in the market at some point. If we take a look at the OIH, powerful move above the 50-day moving average, which is good, but you'll notice that the RSI as of Friday's close walked straight into resistance. So we'll see whether it breaks out or whether it stalls around that area. This is a EWZ. This is one way to also the Brazilian market, kind of goes along with the commodity space, and this shaded area here is where it's been finding resistance since October. So we'll see how it had resistance in November, and again the highs in January, and now we are back to this general area here. So they might be stalling again, or if we find ourselves moving above this area, then now we can see that this rally has a different face to it. Right now, assumption is that it might stall as far as I can see. We are also walking into RSI top lines again. So this might be a stalling area. Now, if you take a look at IAU, the gold ETF, we are still showing resistance on this price channel top lines. What I'm thinking is gold might start fading as of next week. I was looking at some of the other parameters, and I think this instrument might be losing some of this sideways action that it's had for a couple of days right here. I'm suspecting as of next week, this new week, might be trending lower for gold. So that's how I see it. And like you'll notice that the RSI, we already failure to move above RSI top lines, and I think eventually we are rolling over on as far as gold is concerned. If we take a look at the FXI, which has been we went long I think on Wednesday, and has had 3 powerful days higher, which is which is good. But what I'm also noticing now, if you look at the 2-year daily chart, is we are running straight into price channel resistance that has held on multiple occasions going back almost 1.5 years. So we are having this resistance is going to give this instrument some kind of challenge before it decides whether it can break out. But I think around here we stall after that powerful move last week, and then we'll see how that plays out. And surprising, that also coincides with the RSI top lines resistance right there. So there's we might be stalling around here. It would only make sense. We see a lot of price channel resistance coming up, and we see RSI resistance that might stall the current movement. If we take a look at MOO, which is ETF that tracks the agriculture commodity space, if you look at the price, we see we are running again into this area here. Has been some kind of resistance for the stock going back to late last year, and we are with another move, we are going to be walking into resistance. I don't know how we are going to play, how it's going to hold, but for now we'll see how that goes. And we see that the RSI is also showing that it's going to be walking into resistance with another move higher. If we take a look at the SLX, which is a steel sector ETF, another thing we notice is that a nice price move above the 50-day moving average. We are walking again, it's a general theme all over in most charts, is we are walking into some kind of, this area here is where this instrument has been stalling, and we will see whether it can hold, whether it finds resistance here and backs off, or if it can meander around here and then finally blast out. So that's another option. Now we'll see that the RSI closed right at resistance on Friday, and we will see how that plays out into the new week. If we take a look at the SMH, which is the semiconductors ETF, again we see some kind of resistance around this general area here going back to last year. We haven't broken above that, and we'll also notice that coincides with RSI top lines. This is just another bear market rally that can fade at any point. Peace and blessings. Enjoy the weekend.